Hello and welcome, fellow bookworms and film fans. Welcome to this week's episode of The Content Narrative. We're looking at The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and it is a lovely book. So with this one, it was one that I sort of been spotting around, and I ended up getting it for my birthday. Honestly, my birthday I got so many books and book vouchers, so thank you so much to everybody, because seriously, my library is ever growing. So basically with this one, it's about a circus that arrives without warning. It's got magic and mystery around it. There's no announcements. One night it's there, the next night it's not. And it's not a dangerous circus like Stephen King's circuses. It's like a really nice sort of like, you go in and, you know, the food that you have is just a magical, like the drink you have is magical. There's like a tent where it's like you're in the clouds, you know. And it's the circus is a backdrop for two, conjurers, I suppose, but they're not specifically called like conjurers. They're like magicians, wizards, conjurers, whatever you want to call them. And they at first don't know who each other are, but they're being taught in the ways of misdirection and magic, and they're put against each other, but they don't know 100% who each other is. And then when they figure it out, they start playing with each other instead of against each other. And it's just, that bit was a little bit confusing at times, I'm not gonna lie, but it did jump back and forth in time as well, so sort of like what was happening now, what was happening back then. But it was just a really lovely story. Like the main protagonists, you know, the girl and the boy, that's sort of like, well, I say girl and boy, the woman and the man that are against each other, you know, them learning and dealing with the circus and making it much more than what it is. And it was just sweet. It was just like, because when I sort of read The Night Circus, I was sort of expecting something dark and twisted, and unfortunately there is darker elements to it, but it's not sort of, as I said before, Stephen King kind of circus. Do you know what I mean? It's not like oh, what was it? Oh yeah, Something Wicked This Way Comes kind of thing. It's not that kind of imagery. It's just a really nice playful thing, and I would love to go to the circus, don't get me wrong, like and the way it follows the characters, the way that it builds the character arcs, the way that you see how they interact with each other, the way that the past and the present interact with each other, and you can see everything coming to a head, and you can see everything as it's happening, and realizing that it can't continue as it is, but you're wondering how they're going to move it forward. And honestly, it was just, I couldn't put it down. It was a good book. I mean, there were points where I was a bit like, okay, this is dragging a bit. I mean, I say lengthy. It's not lengthy for me, but considering that some of my books that I recommend are only like 200, 300 pages, this is 513 pages. And for me, that's not too bad, because I read a lot of books that are a lot larger than that. I mean, prime example, when I did Les Mis, that was a heck of a book. Same with pretty much any of those books up there, but I honestly, I loved it. I did. There were bits that I was just sort of like a bit like, okay, we'll see how it goes, but you wanted to be a part of it. You wanted it to be real. You wanted to see the circus yourself. You wanted to know where it was going and to be able to do that. And I think that's a really good thing, because it gave you the imagery that it needed. And I'm not going to tell you how it ends. I never tell you how it ends in the book reviews. I always let you figure that one out on yourself, but it was a really sweet ending. Like, it was true to the book. It wasn't, so like sometimes I'll read a book and the ending feels so out of whack with what the characters are and how they're acting, and then you sit back and go, well, why is he just done that, or why is she just done that? But this, it was building it up, and you saw how it was going, and you're like, actually no, this makes perfect sense. And it was just a really lovely ending, and you just sort of sit there going, ah, you feel kind of contented with how it went. So I honestly would recommend you giving this a go, because it follows, the characters that it follows are really lovely characters. The story that it tells, the intertwining sort of like past and present as well, the way that it concludes, the character arcs, the world building, everything about it, I just thoroughly enjoyed. It gets a 4 out of 5 from me. So please obviously go to your library to have a read, or Kindle or paperback, or however you get your books there. But please, leave it below in the comments if you do end up reading it and you like it as much as I do, or if you don't like it, leave it below in the comments. Thank you so much to everyone for your continued support. It means the world to me. Thank you to all the new subscribers that I've been getting as well. I mean, it's only an odd one here or there, but you know what? Every little subscriber helps. Isn't that Tesco? Anyway, so thank you so much, and remember to always keep it contento.